Okay, it is September 8th. This is a special meeting of the HED Board of Commissioners. All the commissioners are present, including our general manager, Sarah Brace, and Karen, assistant business manager. We have an agenda. Does anybody have any changes to the agenda?
Question, are we going to be in executive session for the discussion of the organizational chart? And if not, may I suggest that we do, because it can pertain to current staff and staffing questions?
We could do that. Sarah, what do you think?
I have no problem with that. I wonder if we can have a broad discussion about the organizational chart first as you know, a structure in and of itself, and then if we can go into executive session when it comes to more so the plans of how to move forward, should the board approve of the chart overall. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that's fine. And I also want to do a quick executive session on a customer issue that came up at the end of last week. So, and maybe we should do the customer one first because I think it's pretty quick, and that will give us the most time to do the other ones. So if we can go to executive session to discuss customer matter, premature disclosure would be detrimental to Hardwick Electric. And Karen, if you, I don't know if we don't have to vote on that, do we? No. So Karen, if you can just shut the recording for a few minutes.
Hold on. Just hold on 1 second.
Okay.
Sorry for that.
You in the distance.
I just paused recording? Yes.
It is now, that's a good question. It is 8:43. We're out of executive session, no action taken. And we'll go to the first item on the agenda, which is the proposed organizational chart that Sarah Brace has put together. And Sarah, I think everyone's seen this. It's really, it was well written. It's great information. I've got some questions later on for the discussion, but in terms of the organization itself, I don't know if anybody has any comments to it, as opposed to letting Sarah go through, because we've done that once already.
I do just want to make one comment. I had a couple folks, commissioners, ask me individually about the system and asset maintenance supervisor. It's grayed out on the org chart specifically because I do not envision us filling that role right now in the near term. I think that it is something that could be valuable long term to have an extra layer of middle management and dedicated attention to that specific function of the utility. However, I do think between the utility operations manager and the working foreman and building it into regular duties and tasks of the rest of the staff, I think we're okay. I think should we come to a place where we need that or that need becomes more apparent, I think that's something to consider. But I did not include a description or any specific details because I don't feel that we need to fill that role in the near term or short term.
Great. Got it. That's helpful. That's what I was kind of wondering that and thinking that that's what you were doing. And the people who report to the operations manager then are the working foreman?
Direct reports, yeah, correct.
Yeah, and then the ones on the left too, are those?
Correct.
Okay, so there's 3 direct reports. Got it.
Correct.
And in terms of when you look at the chart from where we are today, assuming there's no open positions, and playing this all the way through, once you've recruited and filled, how many positions over and above are we adding? Is it just adding the utility operations manager, so it's 1 new salaried position?
Correct.
Great. That's pretty straightforward.
Yeah. I've been a proponent of that for 5 years, heading this guy. So I'm thrilled to see it.
Yeah.
And I will add one other note / caveat. You can see right now we are up until our most recent apprentice had resigned last week, was his last day, moved to a different utility closer to home and family. You see that there's two crews really. And I want to point that out specifically because our apprenticeship agreement and structure requires a qualified journeyman first-class lineman for each utility apprentice or apprentice line worker. So I think technically right now we would have 3 because we've got 3 head linemen and now 2 apprentices. So there's an opportunity to fill Depending on the candidates that we get for any of these positions, there may be, however that works, we could either hire another first class or hire another apprentice. And so I think that's just something to consider as you're looking at this. Right now, it's a little bit different, but I do, and we've talked about this, there are some folks in-house that are very interested in promotion. And so I think that if that were to occur, I likely would not plan to fill the apprentice, and because we would have to have another first class first, if that makes sense.
Yeah, the only thing I'd like to add is because the only person who really knows what goes on in the field in detail is Reno. And so, Reno, how do you feel about this organization? You think this will bother anybody? You think it's a good way to go through this and organize HED going forward?
I think it's laid out fairly well. I think Sarah's ideas, I think it'll work.
Okay.
In the case of one of our linemen moving forward into a working foreman position, leaving us with 2 head linemen, if there's a need for a third apprentice or whatever, in certain jobs, 2 apprentices under 1 lineman will work. That is something too, but that's your discretion.
I mean, we still would have 2 first-class linemen on staff, right? Because one of our utility workers is a qualified journeyman, and the working foreman is obviously a qualified journeyman. I'm cautious about, I want that working foreman to be able to focus on the working foreman duties and not all the time be required to work directly with an apprentice. That's my piece,
Right.
is that I want to make sure that they can,
Right.
the apprentice is being served properly by having a dedicated lineman with them out in the field every day. But I agree. I mean, I think we can still make it work.
Right, and 2 apprentices with 1 lineman is not a false direction there
Yeah,
either.
yeah.
So, your discretion. But I think it looks good.
Terrific. All right.
So-
Any other questions? And we'll go to executive session if not.
No, I think I'll hold for executive session.
All right. Why don't you make the motion, Miles?
I move that we go into executive session to discuss details pertaining to current personnel.
Second? I second. All right. Karen, if you can decommission us again from the recording. Okay, it is 9:20. We're out of executive session. We need a motion. I don't know if anyone wants to make the motion. If not, I make a motion that we accept the revised organizational chart as prepared by Sarah to go forward with looking at how to make HED a much more efficient operation.
Second that motion.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Done. Go forward, young lady.
Thank you.
And we will take this discussion further at the next meeting.
Great,
Thank you.
All right.
One last motion?
great,
One last
great
motion.
work. Thank you.
On time. Go have breakfast, Roger.
I'm kind of,
I'm about to get in the car and drive 8 hours to New York, so
oh, fun.
I'm glad we're
Bye-bye.
done
I'll
early.
take the time. I appreciate it.
All right, we'll see you guys next time.
See you next week.
Thank
Take
you all.
care. Bye-bye.
Bye.